Welcome. I am Dr. J. I would like to welcome you to my channel, Chat with Dr. J. I came on earlier trying to deliver this content, but my microphone was not working properly. So hopefully I will come through clear the second time around. Hopefully I will come through clear. I'm going to try this again, my second attempt. As you know, this is one of two cases that I plan to follow until the end of the year. Camello Anthony and his family received terrible news. Again, as you know, this is one of the two cases that I plan to follow until the end. The second being Shannon. Shannon is not so sharp. I promise to bring updates to you as released, and I'm doing my best to keep that promise. The updates that have been released recently within the last few days concerning the Camello Anthony case. As you can remember, Camello Anthony, the 17-year-old charged with murder of a teenager of the same age, Austin Metcalf, has received some very terrible news as it pertains to his case. According to the reports, Anthony is set to be tried as an adult. And while the death penalty is off the table, they will not be seeking the death penalty. He would face life in prison if he is found guilty. Again, they are not seeking the death penalty. It's off the table. It is not even up for discussion. But once he goes, if he is found guilty, he will be facing life in prison. He was arrested due to after he was accused of Metcalf's death. And this incident took place a month or so ago in April. The teens got into a fight at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas, after Metcalf told Anthony to leave his team's area. The latter is alleged. Hey, Z Adams, welcome back. Hey, Chick Speaks on It. Look, you finally caught me up here. Can you all hear me clearly? I was saying earlier, Chick, I had tried to do this, but my microphone was not working. So hopefully you all can hear me clearly. Hopefully it's not choppy now. I moved from a different location in the house, and when I did it before, I tried to sit still, stay in one spot, but it still did not cooperate. So it's better. It's not choppy now. Oh, it's not as choppy as it was. Okay, you can hear. So the information that I'm giving, um, I had promised to follow. Y'all know two of the cases I plan to follow until the end. This is one, Camello Anthony, and the second being Shannon, which is not so sharp. The case with Shannon Sharp, I plan to follow it until the end as well. But I was sharing that Camello Anthony and his family, they received some terrible news pertaining to, like I said earlier, as you can remember, Carmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old charged with murder of a teenager of the same age, Austin Metcalf. Okay, and this incident took place a month or so ago. back in April, where the two boys got into an altercation at the. Okay, so what happened to Camello? Well, nothing happened is better. Okay. Hopefully I will be able to get through. Hopefully I will be able to get through this without it being too choppy. But Chick, what happened? The two boys got in. They were at a track meet, high school track meet, and the two boys got. It was raining, and the boys. And what happened? I guess when the rain started, Camello ran into the tent that belonged to Austin's teammates. And Austin did not want him there. He asked him, told him, you don't belong here. You need to go, leave. And Camello refused to leave. And they got into an argument. So Camello was trying to stand his ground. I guess, it became kind of heated. And Austin said, get out or I'm going to punch you. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to do whatever to you. And what Camello said, okay, all right, touch me and see what happens. Hit me and see what happens. So evidently the boys, it just continued to steam and get hotter and hotter from there. And evidently Austin pushed, shoved, or whatever. He made bodily contact with Camello. Camello then reached into his bag, pulled out a black knife, as one of the witnesses explained it to the police. It was reached into his bag, pulled out a black knife, and stabbed, poked him with that knife in the chest area. I guess he didn't wait around, and unfortunately, it hit his heart. He took off running after Camello poked him in the heart. He took off running, and when the police officer, and I'm just summing this up in a nutshell, when the police officer caught up with him and he radioed, his colleagues to say, okay, I allegedly have the suspect that did the stabbing with me. And Camello said, no, it's not allegedly. I did it. I did it. So get rid of that word allegedly. It's not alleged. I did it. I was protecting myself. And as they went, put him in handcuffs, the police officer put him in handcuffs, took him out. And like I said, I don't think Camello, he didn't even know that the boy had, that he had unalived him. He asked the police officer as they traveled down to the station, is he going to be all right? And the police officer told him, no, he passed away. So he didn't know the severity of that stab, that wound that he had done to Austin. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell about this story. And Chick, what I had been explaining to everybody, like I said, this is one, anything, I mean, it's not education, but educators, students are involved. So anything surrounding education, trending topics, I'm pretty much on it. I kind of like had my channel kind of like in a box where I said education only. So what race is Austin? Austin is a Caucasian, 17-year-old male. He's a twin. And Camello is an African-American, 17-year-old. And it just kind of like, it just all got blown out of proportion. But what I wish, Chick, that could have happened, I wish that he just leave. Just leave, because it's like now, like I said in some of my other lives, who won? Who won? No one. On my right side, I have both my hands up in the air. Right side, you have one got death, and the other one might get life. They're talking about this. Well, they did say, I don't know if you were in when I said that, the death penalty, that's off the table. That's off the table. So it's either, if he is found guilty, he is facing life in prison at the age of 17 years old. This story is so sad and unfortunate. Absolutely. And it happened, I don't know if you were here, but it happened over in Texas, a few states over. Camello was a hothead. And what I can't, and the $1,000,000 question that everybody's asking, Chick, why would you take a knife to a track meet? Okay, my thing, track meet, you're sweaty, you're hot most of the times. If you all have sat through one, you're hot, you're gasping for your air, you want water, you're tired, got to make sure you take those laps around that field or whatever. And on this day, look, it's raining, you're trying to stay dry. That's how you ended up out of place under that tent. Why would you have a knife at a track meet? That's been my $1,000,000 question. Okay, Z. Adam says, yes, it is a very sad situation. It's a very sad story. And then when we make those type choices, this is a child, this is a student. He's 17, but he's still a child. Somebody else is still having to provide for him. So in my opinion, he is still a child. They don't understand. They don't understand the rut or the bad situation that they put their families, their parents, their loved one in, because they had been being harassed. So he's in secret hiding somewhere. I think the dad had to quit his job. Of course, you're a murder, you're in school, and those are more updates I have too. You can't finish and graduate with your classes because you're too worried, and your parents are too worried about you not being sent to prison or not facing the electric chair. But some more updates that the parents did share was that he was able to graduate from school. You know, he was a very smart boy, had very high GPA. So that was the update that they gave as far as his graduation. Uh, um, uh, of course, did I say he was arrested, charged on first degree murder? They did. He was arrested on first degree murder charges. And he told the police. He allegedly told the police that he was picked up in conversation with the police office. And keep in mind, Texas is a stand your ground state. So that might work a little bit in his favor. I don't know. And you all know, Chica, I don't know if you've been keeping up with this case, but he was locked up and he was given which, you kill somebody, you are locked up. But he was given a $1 million bail. No, the judge ultimately, she reduced it to $250,000. And then, the crowd, the folks in Texas went crazy about that, because they said all black folks are, they're killing up the white people now. I hope that didn't come out wrong. So, but the update on his education that they gave, his family announced that while he hasn't been able to attend classes, that's understandable. He hasn't been able to attend classes. His GPA was high enough that he will be able to graduate. And he did graduate last week, May 22nd. He was allowed to graduate. Hey, look at you. Risa, chick, you must invited Risa on over this way. He has shown up, and usually he's up in here anyway. He is up in here. But pretty much, gang, that is the most recent update on Camello Anthony. And Risa, I think hey Galaxy, you made it back over. Hopefully my voice is my microphone is working a little bit better. I changed location, came to a different spot in the house. So hopefully that has solved the problem that we had earlier. But anyway, I think you've been in some of the others. Just to give you a quick rundown, Risa, the young man that got into the altercation at the track meet back in April over in Texas with the Risa Chica saying, "What's up?" with the Caucasian, the 17-year-old twin. And he ended up the twin, he went underneath the tent, and one of the boys that was under that tent did not want him under the tent. I just wish so desperately that he just would have removed himself from the situation, so his parents, his folks, wouldn't be dealing with this mess now. But anyway, they got into a fight. He dared him to touch me or you punch me and see what happens. And of course, Austin, wanted to test the water. This case is new to me. Okay, good. Awesome. And that's what I was telling somebody, Chick. There's so much information out there. And like you said, everybody, has and you just don't have time. There's no way humanly possible that we can keep up with everything that's going on. So that's why, each content creator they bring, pretty much something different. So whatever, like I said, I kind of shifted my title a little bit. It was solely, I was boxed in with just education only. And then one of my another content creator that I mod for, Marco, she said, well, Dr. J, what you might want to do, because it was not doing good, and I'm happy to report, I think you responded on my celebratory 250 post that I put up. It was 250 as of this morning. I think I'm at like 279 now. And it was not growing at first when I first started in April. So Marco said, Dr. J, you might want to do trending. She said, try trending. So it's still education. Everything that I do is kind of like pertaining to it. Like I said, this is not for say education, but it's involving students. It's involving, hey, Mark. Hey, good to see you. Just stopping by to check on you. Hello, everyone. Hey, I have a lot of my favorite people up in here today. Cheek is here. Cheek speaks on it. She's one that you hear me talk about more. I talk about you all to each other. So that's a good thing. Cheek, I also mod for Mark as well. Mark, I also mod for Cheek. So I have two been in a chat in one of my lives together before. Okay, Cheek says that, right, I don't know much outside of politics and celebrity news. All right. Well, I'm here. I got this in covered. Yeah, Cheek. This been national news. Absolutely. It's been out there for a minute. Like I said, this happened a couple months ago. So it's been all over everywhere. Okay, Cheek is showing Mark some love. Okay, it's been everywhere. And like I said, this is one that I plan to follow. I think I have like maybe 2 videos up about this and maybe one live, kind of like just to see what the outcome is going to be. That's my main reason for trying to keep up with it. Okay, they were trying to make it political. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's one of those trending topics there. And like I said, this is one of the 2 that I plan to follow until this one, the second one being, these are just my own words. Shannon is not so sharp. So I plan to follow that one too, because I just don't know what Mr. Sharp was thinking about. But he's not sharp, in my opinion. If you got to, 55 years old and dating a 19-year-old, somebody young enough to be your daughter. But yes, I shared that part. After he fled, he immediately went ahead and admitted to being at fault. He corrected that police officer and said, "No, it's not allegedly. I did it." I said, but he didn't know. I think until the drive down to the police station, that the young man had passed away. They were trying to make it political. Okay. And okay, Mark is showing Chick speaks on it. Some love right there. Okay, awesome, awesome. Chick, are you walking this evening? Are we doing walk and talk later? And this is my second time for those of you that just come. I had done an entire live earlier today and my microphone. It was not working. So what I've done, I changed location and came to a different spot in the house. I don't know if that made a difference, or like I said, the weather has been here, because that's the first time that had ever happened. But the weather about the last month or so. So as I mentioned earlier, Texas is a concurrent jurisdiction state, and they are going to, for those of you that's just coming in, he will be tried as an adult, and they are looking to give him. Chances are, if he is found guilty, he is facing life in prison. So that's the terrible news that his family is facing. Would you say thank you for covering these types of topics? Absolutely, absolutely. Between this and don't forget the dismantling of the Department of Education, we're still waiting on that. I forgot to add, I'm following that too, because even though it has been dismantled and he's going to turn it over to the state chief and send the special ed part over to what's the Kennedy guy, John F. Kennedy. There's still 1,315 more people that will be laid off. And like I said, we don't know. I don't know where that fat is going to be trimmed from. He has not said. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon has not said. It should be stand your ground. Yes, and that's why I want to follow it too, Mark. It's a strong possibility, and I think the lawyer had kind of like as quiet as he's keeping it. You know, somebody had tossed out self-defense as well. Somebody had tossed out self-defense, and I know the lawyer. I read that for myself. Austin, the young man that was actually unalive, he has a twin. And I think from what I've read, the research that I've been doing, those boys, those twins, had a reputation of being bullied because uh, Camello's attorney had even tossed out the possibility of arresting that twin brother. So I'm sure all of that will come out in court. I'm sure. Hey, in his service, how in the world, look, how in the world did you make a slide up in here today? In his service is one of my mod sisters there too, over with Auntie. Chick Speaks on It says, I haven't heard any new updates about the Department of Education. Oh, you see, I'm just all over the place. I look into it, but no, they have not released them yet, and they've dismantled the Department of Education. They sending the component of the special ed over to John F. Kennedy. But my thing, Cheek, is there's still 1,315. That number has not left me yet, and I found this about 2 or 3 months ago. Got you in the drop down. Well, I'm glad that you stopped by in his service. It's always good. This is your first time catching me here. You see, I'm all over the place. But look, this is your first time, but I don't want this to be your last time. I do not want this to be your last time. But what I'm trying to find out, Cheek, is where are they going to trim the fat from the cow? 1,315. Okay, are they going to say, okay, I'm starting at the top with the district office. So is he going to say, okay, superintendent, we pay you all of this money every year. We don't need you anymore. We're going to put a director up here. So is he going to fade away the superintendent? Is he going to say, okay, superintendents, we pay you so much money. You don't need an assistant superintendent. Meaning, are they going to fade away the assistant superintendent positions? Or will the fat be trimmed from? Is he going to say, okay, SPED directors, I'm going to send you over to reapply for your position with with John F. Kennedy over there, since we are sending your department over there? Or is he going to say, curriculum directors, we don't need you anymore? You know what I'm saying? Or is he going to trim the fat from the schools and say, principals, we don't need you anymore. We're going to get some directors to run the school. Or either say principals, okay, we'll keep you, but we're going to get rid of the assistant principals. Does that make sense? Hold on, let me see. Okay, don't let a mod down. Not my style, sis Mod. Okay. Okay, look, I'm going to do my best not to in his service. What's your topic? Just bringing updates up, bringing everybody up to date, sharing updates on the Camello Anthony's case. It's the case where over in Texas a couple of months ago, at a track meet, we had two 17-year-old track members to get into an altercation. Knife in his book bag, and he reached in there, took it out, and pretty much stabbed the Caucasian boy. And we're talking about, let me back up. We have two races here. We have Karmelo is an African-American 17-year-old male, and we have Austin is a 17-year-old Caucasian male. They got into an altercation at a track meet. It was raining outside. Karmelo, the African-American male, ran underneath the Caucasian male's tent. The Caucasian didn't want him there and told him to leave. You need to get from under our tent. You don't belong here. And the African-American male said, no, I'm not leaving. Touch me, punch me, and see what happens. So the Caucasian male decided to test the water. He hit, kicked, punched, or whatever happened. But whatever he did, evidently he made bodily contact with the African American guy. And the African American pulled in his book bag, pulled out a black knife, and poked him in the chest. Hey, SA, you made it back. You made it back. And they're telling me that my microphone is working now. Glad you made it back. I've started telling 2 or 3 stories. Let me check my chat out right there. Okay. What's your topic? Okay, I was bringing in service up to date. No, I mean, I wouldn't let you down. Oh, you're saying if you mod for me, you wouldn't let me down. I know you won't. I know you won't. I believe that. And what I was trying to do once I get my tribe, get my numbers built up, I know that I'm going to gonna have to need some mods in his service. I won't forget that, because it would be hard to try to do that, try to watch this and do everything. Chick says, Dr. J, are you an educator by profession? Yes, ma'am, about the youth and education, which is awesome. Yes, ma'am. That's all I know. This is all I know, Chick. Yes, ma'am. 30 plus years of it. Absolutely. Yes. Dr. J was the knife pre-plant. What was the knife? Exactly, Essay. That's what we were just talking about before you came in. Okay, you're showing in his service some love. I don't know. We don't know yet. But like I said earlier, Essay was in when I went out before, when I tried to share this. I don't know, but I promise you that's a question that his attorney, I know by now has the answer to that question, because I have been asking that same question since I first laid eyes on that article. What in the world is this boy? Okay, track meet. I think about track meet. I'm hot. If you're not in shape, you got to run. You're sweaty. You want water. You're gasping for air. This case is raining outside. You got to hurry up. They have to stop everything once the lightning and the thunder start. Why would you think to even bring a freaking knife to a track meet? So that's the $1 million question, and I cannot wait to get an answer to that question, Essay. Dr. J, passionate on a wide spectrum of topics. This is just one. I tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot out there. It is a lot out there. The more I read, when something pops up, I read. I said, nope, you don't belong in my home. If it's Chick, something Chick will talk about. Say, okay, hey, dearest. Okay, in his service is showing Essay some love. Okay, that might make a difference in the ruling. Absolutely. And before you came in, I also said the attorney I had read had tossed out something about bullying. It could have been what do you call it? What do you call it when you're protecting yourself? Help me. Self. The thing when you're protecting yourself, self-defense. They might even toss that out too. No, I've moved to manage and moderate. Okay, a lot more work to channel thus far. Yes, we get them all mixed up. A child afraid of being threatened would carry on. Yes, and that's one, and that's a question that I did in one of the very first lives I did. Had they had some type of altercations before? Did he expect this to happen? I don't know. I have no kind of idea, but I can't. Yeah, self-defense. That's the word I was looking for. I have no kind of idea, but that's $1 million question that so many people they want an answer to, and I'm sure the attorney wanted to ask it too, because in one of the interviews that the news reporter, they did look on. They dig really deep, and that was one of the questions that came up. Why did he have that knife anyway? But of course, the attorney, he wasn't falling for that trick. He did not answer. So that's $1 million question we all want to know. But I think before you got here, what is it? Death penalty is off the table. We know they're not seeking a death penalty, but there's a possibility that he might face life in prison if he is found guilty. And I said that too. I feel sorry for the parents. When we make these type decisions, we do not understand. We do not understand the hardship that we put on our loved ones. our families, our children, and in this case, on his parents. Money you got to pay out that you won't get back. And I think they had put together a GoFundMe account. Last count, I think it was up to about either 250 or $500,000. And then GoFundMe only been around for a few years. And then think about how many people that don't have an opportunity to do a GoFundMe account. I said all that to say you got to come up with that money and pay money. You giving that money away, money that you won't get back. So that's what I mean when I say that they don't understand the hardship that they put on their families. That's financial hardship right there. Very much so. Risa said, only hope he has is stand. This is a stand your ground state, Risa. My son wouldn't last a week in prison. Mine wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. I surely don't want to go there try to find out either. They have no idea of a heart. Because didn't you say earlier this morning that you used to work out of prison, SA? My mind would be no good. Mine either. Let me jump back to this while you finish responding, SA. Hey, Bill and Brand. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for catching my second live here. My second one. But Chick, let me see. Are you still here? Let me finish talking about that 1,315. I think I had gone through the central office. Are they going to trim the fat from those folks at the central office? Okay, Bill and Brand, you're showing SA some love. Or are they going to trim the fat from the school system? Are they going to take away the counselors? Are they going to take away the academic coaches? We know they can't take away. We need the custodians. We need the lunchroom workers. We need the okay, you're still there. We need to. I'm trying to finish this story. We need the bus drivers. We got to have them. So where is the fat going to be trimmed? Wherever it's going to be trimmed from, Chief, they need to go ahead and start trimming. Even though school just let out, there may be one or two more places up in different states that has the really, really cold weather. But school will be out. If it's not out for most of us yet, it will be out within the next week or so. School is out, but they're making plans for school to start back. School will be back. It's not like when I grew up. I used to get out of school around the end of May, maybe like May 25th, 26th, and we would go back like the end of August. No, you get out of school in May and you're back in school the end of July. You know what I'm saying? So I said all of that to say these folks need to know, so they can be out seeking employment somewhere else. Or are they going to have to go to the unemployment line, try to get a check? Let us know something. This is not fair. And they have not decided yet where they are going to trim or who jobs will be faded away from. So they don't know. Hiring at the State Department, at the state level, the first people they got were those at the federal level. So that just leaves the district level and the school level. So it's one of the two. So I don't know. Maybe within the next weeks. I've been trying to watch and keep my ears close to the ground to see where and when they're going to let those people know that they will not have a job for the 25-26 school year. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, Bill is showing love to SA. Okay, you are welcome. Yes, thank you. This is your first time catching me too. And like I tell my first time, folks, look, it's your first time, but let's not make it your last time. And please come back, check on me again. In service says I'm out. Okay, you're out of your time. Thank you so very kindly for stopping by to check on me in his service. Okay, you are doing great. Thank you. This is my second time around. I did a whole live today, and my voice, it just wouldn't do right. My microphone wouldn't. So, of course, we had to do some troubleshooting, and I just moved to a different part of the house. I gave it a break, to let it cool down or whatever. Okay, Chick, you're still there. That's what I was trying to finish telling that story about, Chick. Where are they going to trim that fat from? 1,000. 1,315 more jobs. 1,315 more people don't know whether they will be part of that 1,315, come in about a month. We're in June now, but guess what? We lay down and sleep. We hibernate too long. Guess what? June is going to be over in 4 weeks. Today is the 2nd. They don't have about 28 more days left. July, folks are getting ready to go back to school. Most teachers will report back to school the end of July. Very few systems around state actually start school Labor Day like they used to. So my thing is, go ahead and let the folks know and chances are, President Trump had told us in lies everything that he said and promised, that he was going to do. It has been done. So that's one thing I can say about him. He has been a man to his word. You are doing great. I'm just so glad that you made it over here. Building brand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Essay says, yes. Okay. Yes, that's right. You did say that earlier. 6 years, juvenile and adult. I saw the kids and their parents, one building to the other. I saw the kid. Okay. And parents, one building to the other. Okay. Okay. And I know that was nothing nice there. Okay. Bill, okay, you're showing Chick some love. Mark says it was a to clean his cleat. Okay, I thought I heard somebody else say that. I didn't see that. Another knife, a tool to clean his cleat. So he decided that he had it in his bag and he pulled it out still and decided to poke a person. Someone said early in the live, Z Adams, are you still here? They don't use those fists anymore. They go for blood. They go for blood now. It was a tool to clean his cleat. Seemed like I heard somebody else say that, but I have not seen that. Just to read something like this. Why you got a knife anyway? You're not going to a butcher. What you need a knife for? You're not going to find a deer out in the woods. Build and brand. Build and brand. High in his service. Build and brand. Okay, you're showing Build and brand some love. Hey, Build and brand. Cheek is showing you some love. Nice to meet you, essay. Not a knife. Okay, but it was used as a weapon because, back in the school days, it was a big thing in education once upon a time. They want to say, okay, you fuss about bringing, y'all follow me on this one, bringing weapons into school. But guess what? The main weapon that you need to be worried about that folks often think about is a pencil. That kind of like made news. They talked about that for a minute. Think about a pencil, just as sharp as a knife. If you get it in that sharpener, especially those electric sharpener, really good. And then once upon a time, they made a big deal out of heels because when girls at the high school level, of course, would get into fights, they would often pull off those heels, and use them as a weapon. So they kind of like prohibit girls from wearing heels to school because of that. Okay, Bill is showing Mark some love there. Cheek, I agree. These people need to know. I was surprised if they didn't know. Absolutely. Those 1,315 people, I've been shouting it from the rooftop, Cheek, for about the last 2 months when I first read. Okay, when are you going to tell them? When are you going to tell them? And then school was still in. I said, okay, for those of you that know how the school system works, the principal, and this was around March, I think, Chick. I'm like, okay, school is still in section. The way it works, you're closing out a year. I have my left hand up, and that right hand, you're trying to open up. You're making plans for the next year. I promise you, principals, superintendents, they start to plan for the next year. These are facts. I'm telling you what I know. In March, you're trying to get those children out. You're doing your award celebration. You're doing your end of the year parties, your end of the year, your last field trips that you can get in around March. You got to get them in, so they can close the books out. But on the flip side of that, they start planning. I promise you, they start planning for the next school term around January. By the time March comes, when they're trying to send this group home, when they were trying to send this group home for the, 2024, 25 school year, they start planning that. In March, the children start getting off the chain, but they start planning for the 2025, 2026 school year, which starts in the fall. They start planning for that in January. So by the time they started trying to plan to get them out of here in March, they probably already, they have everything in place to start off in the fall. That's just how it works. But evidently, President well, you know, the billionaires. I just say the billionaires. The billionaires don't know about that, because most of their children, are somewhere in some other private school, so they don't have to worry about that. So, but I'm just saying, I don't see Trump and administration being successful in all these dramatic changes. It's a lot going on, and I think the changes are not bad, but you need to close. Like I just said, how the school system, they close it out and then they get ready to start playing. We're not closing. The administration is just not closing anything up. There's like about 6 different containers open, if that makes sense. You got to close something up, finalize something before you move on to something else. Oh, I don't see Trump and his administration. Okay, with the dramatic. And before I forget, we have some content creators in here too. Let me introduce, so we can connect and kind of follow and support each other. Y'all can see I'm all over the place. So Cheek Speaks is here. Cheek Speaks on It is here. Mark B Perspective is a content creator. Build, are you still here? Build and Brand, she's a content creator. She just got started out along with me. Who else did I see? But I know Cheek Speaks is here. I mod for Cheek. I Mark B's Perspective. I mod for Mark. He's here. And like I said, Build. Build, are you still here? Who else came through? In his service, you left. She's my mod sister. Make sure I don't leave anybody. Okay, Cheek is saying, hey, chat. And Cheek has two channels. Cheek Speaks on It and Cheek Speaks. And Mark is the host. He has his channel is Mark B's Perspective. And you all feel free to drop your links in the chat down there too. Please, ma'am, and please, sir. Okay, SASN, hey, Cheek. Z Adams. Yes, I am still in the house. I don't know. I called your name for something early. I can't remember what. But that's the reason. Those are the updates that I had as far as Anthony. And the good thing about it is he was able to graduate. He participated in well, he didn't participate, but his GPA was high enough. He was able to walk with this being his senior year, so he was able to get his certificate. His high school diploma. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm like Mark. The only thing I can see was that Mark or Risa that said. The only thing I can see that might work in his favor. Okay, thank you. Chick dropped her link right there. Thank you, ma'am. It's that it's a stand. It could have been self-defense. I'm sure that his attorney, is going to use that in his favor. And the other thing is, like I said, I don't know what or if anything, hey there, had happened prior to what happened at that track field. I don't know. But of course, all of that is going to come out. Once everything gets stirred up, once they get in the kitchen good and get to cooking everything up. So I'm sure, that it will come out. It will. So it was not actually a knife. Mark said he had seen that somewhere. It was actually something to tighten. I think that's what I had heard somebody say. To tighten his cleat up on his shoes. And I guess he realized he had it there. So he was like, I'm not going to fist fight. We're not even fist fighting today. I'm just going to pull this out. I'm going to poke you and I'm going to take off running. And that's what happened. But he didn't deny. He didn't try to fight against it. He told the police officer when he caught up with him, I did it, what I did, and why I did it. So that's where that is. That's where it is. Essie, I think I've mentioned Cheek to you a couple of times with me modding for her, I know, and for Mark as well. Mark, if you're still here, drop your link in the chat as well. Chick, I cannot believe you had not heard of this at all. And this has been one. It had started to get ugly at one point. I mean, to the point where I think as we speak right now, they put him into he's in hiding somewhere because threats were being made against. Let's see if I have that. I don't want to feel. I wanted to tell you the exact. I was trying to see if I could find that. Threats had been made against him, and folks were harassing his family, taking pictures of the house and circling the house and, doing all those things that bullies do. But I can't find it. But I know he's away somewhere. He is away because, they thought it was unfair, for him to do what he did. Like you said, there's a lot going on. Yes, it's a whole lot going on, and it's too much to catch up with. As they said that it was devastating, unfortunately. Okay, you said I see now. Do you mean that with the instrument, the weapon being like a tool to tighten up the cleats on the shoes, essay? Yeah, it's a lot going on, and like I said, I tell you, turn on your computer, and stories. They just flood you. And I'm just to the point now. Nope, don't need to see this. Marco will talk about this, and every time you turn on the computer or the news, someone has killed a baby. Someone has raped. Raped and unalived a baby. Always. I'm like, nope, not even dealing with this. I start out reading, nope, Marco will take care of you. Cheek with Mark will report this. Nope, I'm sticking strictly. If it's not saying K through 12 or something, I most of the times, every now and then, I got something coming out that I did on a college, but I try to stay away from the college stuff too, because it's just overwhelming. It's overwhelming. If it's not, maybe a high school, bang bang or bus crash, anything related to education, something trending, I have to stay away from it because our brain, that muscle is just not. I don't think designed to handle talk about mental health. Oh my word. You said about him not fighting Pope. Absolutely. They don't fist fight anymore. No, they don't just fight it out. We wouldn't even be in this situation. Not just we, his parents. My heart goes out to those parents. Can you imagine, if this was your son? And no one is exempt from it. And seems like the young man was from a prominent, a very good family. He just he made a bad choice. Can you imagine? They won't fist fight anymore. They go for blood. I'm either gonna stab you to death. I forget my wording up here sometimes, or just gonna go bang bang with it. They don't fight anymore. Sadly, they go for blood. They want to take you out. It sounds like both boys were hotheads, and Camilo got the best. Yes, I just hate that it came to that point. And I don't think, he probably didn't mean to do it, because when the news reported it as a knife, it was not actually, a knife. I guess he thought it was just going to do enough to back him off, until he can flee. Because like I said, during the ride down to the police department, Chick, he asked, is he going to be okay? He asked the police officer that. Is he going to be okay? And the police officer said, no, you unalived him. And boy, his world, changed and had never been the same since then. And won't be the same whether he end up, getting life or if he end up walking, if it's determined that it was self-defense. You still, I mean, I never, unalived anybody, but I can only imagine, that's probably something you have to deal with for the rest of your life, knowing that you did unalive somebody. And I really don't think he meant to, He could have just, chicken out. He just didn't want to duke it out with the young man. So he just, wanted to get him off of him quick, because as soon as he did it, he ran away. But then tried to deny it to the police. He just honestly told the police, yes, I did it. It's not allegedly. I did it. I was protecting myself. Absolutely. And I think I said that in a couple of my lives. And I said that early. I don't know if you were in here. No one wins. One got death and the other one could possibly get life. Life, death. The one, death, the one, that family has already had to put theirs under the dirt. And this one right here, could have life put away behind bars. So that's my thought on it. Exactly. Nobody wins. Kind of like a war. Kind of like a war. Who wins the war? Who wins the war? You have these rich, spoiled men, like the one leading our country, Cheek, and I can talk about the one leading China country. You're fighting and you're bickering, and you're hurting your people in your country. You're not thinking about your constituents, your people that you're supposed to be there, to look out for and to make the best decisions for this, that, and other. Just like when they declare war. Who wins? Let the two presidents, let them get out there. They're the ones with the beef between each other. Why we lose so many lives. So I said all that to say no one wins a war. What do? Count to say, okay, Dr. J has 30,000 dead bodies over here for no reason. Cheek has 50,000 dead bodies over there. Who wins? Nobody. Nobody wins. Not in my opinion. Just one number is higher than the other. Arisa has 8,000 dead bodies over there, and SA has about 81,000. Who wins? Nobody. Nobody. You're just hurting families. Killing lives for no reason. No reason. Like that mess going on between Ukraine and Russia. Who wins? Who wins? I'm like, Putin, you can't hardly manage what you have now. Why do you want to go over there and take those folks' land? If they don't want to be a part of you, let them be. Let them be. President Trump, you can't just go over there and tell Canada and Mexico you want their land. And the proof is in the numbers. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the data. That 100 days that run your own country. Fix what we have over here before you go and try to take on and take somebody else's land. You're not doing it, but that's just my opinion. And that's not even what we're talking about. I wonder how it's going to. Good question. Good question, Chick. Good. Probably not good. Probably not good at all. His mental health is probably not good at all. I want to do something else on mental health too, even though it ended yesterday. I'm telling you, somebody need to mental health, especially with all of these uncertainties in the world right now. I think mental health should be celebrated we already have 1 month of celebration. I think we need 11 more months. We need 11. We have one. You follow me? We need 11 more months to be observed as Mental Health Awareness Month. Nobody wins. So I said all that to say I agree with you, SA. I wonder how, and I bet that mental is not good at all, Chick. Risa said BLM is making highlight this incident, and in my opinion, making it their next George Floyd movement. Yeah. And why they won't let George Floyd just sleep and rest where he is in the grave, I don't know. But I know they were talking about releasing or pardoning, but I think I read somewhere President Trump said it was not true. He was not going to be pardoned. I mean, you killed this man in the broad daylight right there. I actually sat here and watched that man take his last breath after he finished calling on his mom, and you are going to even discuss letting him out of jail. But if those insurrectionists can freely go into the Capitol and destroy it, I think everybody should be let out that hadn't done anything terribly wrong, that's in prison. Chick says, no one wins when there is negativity. Right. Okay, you said right, Dr. J. Okay. I've said so much, Cheek, I done forgot what I said. But I'm so happy, Cheek, that I know you've been over here before, but I think that I was kind of like finishing up when you got here. But I am so elated. It does my heart good. I do appreciate, you stopping by to check on me. And I did see your comment this morning. I think I said this already. With my 250 celebratory post that I put up there, I responded back to you. I appreciate it. Last I checked, I'm moving right on up. I'm just so thankful, so grateful. I was at like 279 subs. So it is most definitely moving in the right direction. But this is the approach that I take. Like I said, I was kind of like inside of a box. I mean, being inside of that box was fine because education is what I know, and I didn't mind doing that, but it was not getting the attraction, the attraction that I wanted it to, and I learned. I already knew this, but it's becoming more clearer to me. People like a little bit more excitement. I won't say the D word, the drama word, but they like a little bit more excitement, and I'm appreciative to Marco. She was the one kind of pulled me to the side, like, Dr. J, why don't you, mix a little trending in there, mix a little trending, so I'm still able to, keep my focus with the education side, and just pull a little bit more excitement in here as well. Yes, I caught the beginning of a lie. Yay! Can't do my heart, my hand claps there, but I can clap. You're rocking and rolling. Wrote to 1,000 subs. I received that. I receive it. I receive it. I will catch you later, Dr. J. Okay, love your content. Now, and she said, nice to meet everyone. I'm glad that you were able to. The second time around was better. Essay. Second time around was better. So if not, Essay, I guess I'll see you in the morning, because chances are I'm not coming back on today since I got this to go through. As always, thank you for that support. Thank you for stopping by, my sister Essay. Trending news with the youth and education. Yeah, I might need to change it because I have that in my description. I put trending. So yes, trending news with the youth and education. Absolutely. I just put trending in there. I like that. Trending news with the youth. Yes. Yes. And even if I find something in there about teachers, I will talk about that. It just depends on what it is, with YouTube, you have to be very careful with that, that I'm still learning with the word, and like using unalive instead of, the K word. Um, grape, GRAPE instead of without the G. So, but yes, I like that one. Let me snap this so that I don't forget. Get a picture of that. I like that one. Let me just get it so I have it, because I will forget. See if I can snap a picture. I think I got it. Uh-oh. But yes, that is the story. And like I said, as the information continues, but the one that I'm really waiting for, like I said, is the dismantling of the Department of Education. And I'm especially waiting to see who will take that hit, who will be a part of that 1,315, that huge number that would be looking for employment somewhere else. That's what I'm waiting to see. But those are three as of right now that I plan to continue to follow. This being one, and of course, Mr. Shannon. I know it's not education, but he deals with babies. He deals with school age children. 55-year-old man, Shannon, not so sharp, and that dismantle. You having that water that and that dismantling of the Department of Education. So those are some that I do plan to continue to follow. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Hi, Dr. J. Hey, go getter. Hey there. Thank you for stopping by. I think you stopped by, was it earlier? there was another day we were ending up. We were finishing up, but I was just giving updates on that killing that unaliving of a student over in Texas that happened a few months ago over in Frisco, Texas. Those two 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, that name might ring a bell to you. He's under house arrest. He had $1 million bond, but the judge dropped it down to 250,000. So he's out. He's wearing the ankle bracelet. He unalived the Caucasian boy, 17-year-old as well. They got into an altercation. Camello had gone underneath their tent at a track meet because it was raining. And Austin wanted him to leave, to depart, get from under our tent. You don't belong here. And Camello wanted to stand up and if you want me to leave, you make me leave. Touch me if you want to, see what happens. Hit me if you want to, see what happens. And like I said, Austin decided to test the water. He touched, kicked, punched, whatever he did. But whatever he did, the young man stabbed him, poked him rather. And I don't think he meant to poke him there. He probably, just poked. He did. He poked and he took off running. So, and he found out later that he had unalived the young man because as he traveled in the police car down to the police station, he asked the policeman, is he going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? And, the police officer pretty much informed him that, he didn't make it. Hey, Galaxy, welcome back. My sound is better now. The microphone is working. So that's pretty much go getter what we had going on. You said it's my timing. I work nights and raising 2 adopted children. Keep me busy. I understand. Yes, I remember this story. Absolutely. And just the latest update, that the death penalty is off of the table. But it's a possibility if he is found guilty, he will be facing life in prison. And that's a long, 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 long time for a 17-year-old. Life in prison. And the parents also gave an update that his GPA was high enough, he was able to graduate on May 22nd. So he did updates. That's what I wanted to share. And like I said, I will continue. These are 2. I don't know if you were here when I said that, 2 that I plan to follow throughout the year. And I think these 2 are going to be the cases of the year. This one, and I've also followed Shannon not being so sharp. I'm following him too. Hey, Mr. D. I've been trying to do 50 things at once. I understand. So make a short. Okay. I got to make a short. Oh, okay. That's Galaxy. Yeah, you need to do that, Galaxy. And I've been following your shorts too. I've been trying to do 50 things at a time. I actually thought you were go-getter. Okay. You're showing love to everybody. Okay. You got to go make a short. Okay. All right. I thought it was Melo, the retired basketball player, but you taught me something I didn't know. No, he's not a retired Camello. No, Camello Anthony. He's a 17-year-old male from over in Frisco, Texas. 17-year-old male. Not a basketball player. He probably played basketball on the high school team, but he's not famous. He's not famous. Just a household name, or he will be a household name. He's working on becoming a household name. He unalived another 17-year-old student during an altercation at a track meet that happened a couple months ago. I think back in April. It happened back in April. So updates came out, and I just wanted to come out and share those updates on this young man. And they haven't said anything about a court date or anything. But if if it was a tool that he used to tighten up his cleats, he took it and used it as a weapon. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But like they say, we talk about weapons, weapons, weapons. Oh, the student brought a knife to school. Oh, the student brought a gun to school. And this happened some years ago. I read this article somewhere. They worry about the knives and the gun, but you have the most dangerous weapons that the children use there at school every day, called a pencil. Pencil, a pencil. And I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense, because some of those little rascals can get pretty sharp, especially if you put it in one of those electric pencil sharpeners. And I also shared earlier, for those if you didn't hear, I don't want to be a bit redundant. Those high school fights, they can get kind of ugly sometimes, but they don't fight. Well, they pull hair now, and they pull a lot of weave now. But back in the day, they had to ban students, females, from wearing heels, because oftentimes when they would get into a fight, they would take those heels off and use them as weapons. So I don't think we worry about that anymore. They don't worry about that anymore. So that's kind of like where we are. And like I said, that's the update that I have. I have something else good that I found that I'm going to bring eventually. This is in some other state. Just pretty much Montgomery County schools toughen penalties for student behavior. So you have some of the schools trying to get those inappropriate behaviors under control. So it was kind of interesting. So those are just some changes, like they in all school systems, rewrite those handbooks every year, and just trying to get control. Behaviors are so far out of control now. It's kind of hard for the teachers to be able to teach. And the teacher is not teaching, no learning is taking place. But you got to get those behaviors under control first, because in my opinion, the two go hand in hand. The teacher can't teach if you don't have no good classroom management up in there. So they try to tighten it up every year, but by the time they fix one problem, something else comes about. But I had been saying, I thank God, usually that craziness, it gets started around the end of the school year, where somebody want to go in and shoot them up, bang, bang. We didn't have any school shootings, thank God, in the spring. Since that Columbine school shooting, it's kind of like monkey see, monkey do. You had people, everybody want to get a piece of it, but that didn't happen this year. We didn't have any school shootings, so I thank God for that this year at the end of the school year. Perhaps they would take his age and accountability. Life is too long. No, they're going to he will be tried as an adult in the state of in Texas. They've already made that known. He will be tried as an adult. Anybody 16 years old in Texas, you can be tried as an adult. They are permitted to charge minors as young as 16 years as adult with certain offenses. Go get her. That's the information that I got out of there. 16 years of age, they are able to charge those minors as adults with certain offenses. Just a bad situation. Like I said, when we make these decisions, sometimes when I read this stuff, see it on the news, even if it's not a teenager or a child, even going to put their hand on a gun and pull that trigger, they just don't understand the hardship, the money, the families most of the time have to come up with and they'll pay those attorneys before they will even go down to that jailhouse. Well, not just a jailhouse, and will actually sit down and speak, to the family. You got to put up 10, 15, 20, $30,000. And the thing about it, we were having a conversation. No refund, zero, none. That's money that you give away. That's money that you give away. My opinion, a lot of times I just come up here and I just tell my feelings, what I think about it, just my opinion. Hey, Granny B. Granny B is in the house. Always good to see you, Granny B. Hey, hey, hey. I'm thinking in terms of less time. Now, the only thing they did assure, go get them. They said that the death penalty is off the table. The death penalty is off the table. He would face life. Yes, life, life in prison if found guilty. And that's what I had said earlier. Life, that's a long time. Life for a 17-year-old. Life, and like we've had a long discussion here. I have both of my hands up. That's my analogy. Who wins? Who won? Nobody won. One got death, one got life. The one that was unalive, sadly his parents have put him on the death. On the death, has put him under the ground. He got death, and it's a possibility this 17-year-old can get life. So who wins? Nobody. Nobody wins. That's my opinion. Nobody wins in a case like this. Kind of like I gave another analogy of the one of a war. Our presidents are around here acting crazy with this terrorists and this, that, and the other. Then they get mad enough to want to fight and start a war. But you two grown men with these tantrums, you two can't get along. You can't come to an understanding. Why make us? Why make your American citizen? Why make your China citizen suffer? You two get out there and fight it out. Kind of like, I was saying all that to say, kind of like a war. Who wins a war? Dr. J, okay, my soldiers, 25,000 of my soldiers died. Go get her. You over there in your country, my people killed 30,000 of yours. Who wins? Nobody. One just has a bigger number than the other, but nobody wins a war. Just a lot of senseless killing. But that's just my opinion. This mess that took place in Texas, Frisco, Texas, out on that track field 2 months ago. Senseless. They could have just easily fought it out. Or better yet, I'm like, baby, why didn't you? And yes, he is a baby. He's 17. He still lives on his parents' roof. Just leave the folks' tent. You know that the United States of America is not, and I hate to throw race in it, it's not race friendly. If the folks don't want you under the freaking tent, get your butt from under there. Go and stand in the rain. Walk home. Hop in your car, drive home. Do something. Go somewhere where you're wanted. All of this could have been avoided. Just a senseless killing. And I think I even said that when this first came out, it struck my attention. I have like 2 videos on my channel about this. Just senseless. Should not have even happened. Should not. But anyway, that's my opinion. Perhaps they would take his age. Okay. I'm thinking in terms of less time. Granny B, you still here? Life shouldn't be on the table. Truly, this is a no-win. Absolutely, Granny B. So sad. I agree, Go Getter. I agree. Were you familiar with that story, Go Getter? Did you say? Granny B, are you still there? No. If y'all don't mind, please hit that like button. If you have not, please hit the like. Okay, Go Getter. Oh, you had heard of the story, Go Getter. Please like. Oh, shit. Okay. Granny B, I think I remember you telling me you were familiar with the story. I know you're familiar with the story. Go get I guess Go Getter said that she is familiar with the story as well. But those are pretty much all of the updates. And I don't know if those of you that still in here heard me say, this is one of the 2 stories that I do plan to follow. This is one I plan to follow these stories until the end. Subscribe to my channel. Okay. There's also a basketball player named Camello. Exactly. This child's name is exactly. And then you know how we do. A lot of people, we name our children after the stars. We name them after the stars. That's why they're always making fun of Kamala Harris' name. Like, we don't have any Kamalas now, but I bet in the next 5, 10 years, that name will be a household name. Kamala. Kamala. I remember Beyonce. I had never heard of that name, Beyonce. Boy, oh boy, when Beyonce came about and blew up and got with Jay-Z, there were a lot of Beyoncés coming through the schools. A lot of Beyoncés. Yes, absolutely. Just a bad situation, ladies, in my opinion. Just a really, really bad situation. Surely was. Surely is. Go get her. I'm so glad you had a chance to make it. Well, it was near the end, but I'm still glad that you showed up. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. And I guess I will probably see you a little bit later tonight. Marco will be going on at 7. So I'll be over that way as well. 7 or 7:30. One of the two. But I'm happy that you made it. Like I say, if this is your first or second time, look, don't make it your last time. I plan to see you up. I hope to see you up in here again. I really do. Granny B, are you going live a little bit later? Or do you know yet? Granny B, are you still here? If so, do you know if are you going live later today? Granny B, are you still in? Okay, yes, I just finished my dinner. Oh, you eat early. 4:27. Oh, if I ate at 4:27, I'll be ready to eat again in about 2 or 3 hours. You finished dinner, going to. Oh, you're gonna go to bed? Oh my word. Okay, so I see you in. Okay, Marcos. Okay, you worked that night shift. Okay, I remember those night shifts, those graveyard shifts we used to call them. No fun, but you don't work hard. Well, things calm down at nighttime. I remember, but on the night shift, I think that I've ever worked. I know I used to work at a convenience store back in the day. Things would be okay. All right. Well, hopefully I will see you in a few hours. Go and get you some rest. Okay, Chick. I didn't know you were still there. I did not know you were still there because I'm actually done. Bye, Dr. J. I enjoyed the live, and I'll see you in. Okay. Okay. Oh, you're going on. Okay. We'll do Car Chronicles in the morning. Have a good evening. And Chick, thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate that support. Thank you. And I'll see you in the morning between 7 and 7:15. Thanks again. And I'm glad that you enjoyed. Brenda B, you're still here. Oh, so you are going live later? I'm assuming one of those yes is for that. Thanks again, Cheek. So very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. 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 Sounds good. How is the weather there? I know y'all have been having some bad weather too. I had done a whole live today, and you headed out, Granny B? Well, hopefully I will get a chance to chit chat with you a little bit later. I will get a chance to chit chat. When I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I'm going to practice on something real quick. And Granny B, I will get up with you a little bit later. Thank you. And thanks again for coming. Go get her. Get you some rest, and hopefully I'll see you later. Bye for now. Go get her. We'll discuss black brother. Okay, dating and marrying outside of their race. Okay, that sounds good. That's the one you had mentioned during the last live. So that is great. That is really good. Have you been able to do any research, or you have everything put together? Granny B, I guess you're the only one in here now. There's just one person in here. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So we'll get a chance to I'll contact you. I think you're the only person in here. I will reach out. Did you see where I tried to contact you a little bit earlier? I have to keep me something to drink nearby because your mouth has a tendency to get kind of dry. Oh, you did see that. Okay. And I'll reach back out. How long? Oh, trying to see how long I have been up here. Okay. So you're still out and about? Are you done running your errands? Okay. Okay. So are you planning on doing that today, tomorrow, or when? Later? Are you planning on going live later? You're going to do this evening? Because I'm free up until myself, I'm free up until 7. So I'll be tied up between 7 and 10 because I have to mod for Marco and try to help Mark out too, Mark B's perspective. And I'm going to get ready to end. It was a pretty good live, just bringing those I don't know how much you caught, but just bringing those updates when it comes to Carmelo. So, and then I've been having computer issues today, and why I can't go live on my cell phone, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to see if I have my tablet on charge. Now I need to try to practice and see if I can go live from my tablet. These devices. But I'm pretty much done. I guess we'll be able to chit chat a little bit later. I think somebody else came into the live, but I'm pretty much done. And I'll get ready to end it. Did you figure out how to do the mod? I guess I need to try to maybe check a tutorial how to mod from. Oh shucks. Are you there, Granny B? Share your link. I don't know how to do it. Granny B, are you there? Shucks. Hold on. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Valerie.